What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I'm going to be showing you the exact clothing brand marketing strategy that made me $105,842.20. So all you literally have to do is just copy me, take some notes, watch this video completely through, because I'm giving you all the sauce for free. So let's just get straight to it. Let's get straight to it. You might be wondering who I am if you're new here. Well, this is me laying on a bunch of packages right here. This is my Shopify dashboard in the past couple months. This is my clothing brand. You can check that out on your own time. And this is the content I have on my Instagram or my marketing. As you can see, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's one thing to do it one time. You know, a lot of people say that. So I've gone ahead and show you some of my other results from my other clients. So I've done this multiple times. This is not just a one-time luck thing. I've proven this over and over and over and over. So this is one of my clients right here. He made $10,000 in the past 7 days. Another client I took from $600 to $6,000 in literally a month. This other client last month, $14,000, and then this other client I'm working for, $35,000 in the last 90 days. So you can see I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know exactly how to market a clothing brand, and all you really got to do is just sit here and take my advice. Now, before I get into the video, I would really appreciate it if you consider subscribing, maybe dropping a like. Like I said, I'm giving you all this information completely for free. So let's just get straight to it. The holy trinity of clothing brand marketing. This is going to be your organic marketing, paid marketing, and influencer marketing. As you can see, they all go right directly into each other because you can, once you have all three of these things mastered, you can leverage them together and just make a buttload of money. It's really crazy how much you can make with all of this. I'm sure you know about organic marketing, paid marketing, influencer marketing. Like these are some basic terms everybody who has a clothing brand is familiar with. Now, good marketing is made up of different parts, but the most important part is your organic content. The goal of organic content, as of course you know, is to go viral for completely free because organic content is content you put out for free. So TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, long form YouTube videos, like all this stuff is content you can make for free and put out for free for the most part. And that's the type of content you should be focusing on at the start. Let's take a look at making organic marketing that has the most viral potential. So I went ahead and broke it up right here with good pacing, good aesthetic and location, good description and tags, good product. There's a reason why good product is highlighted and also has a gold border right here because it is important. And then we have a good video idea slash research. So these are the most important things to nail when making good clothing brand content. But let's go ahead and start with the first thing, which is making a good product. I talked about this in my previous video, but without a genuinely good product, you will always find marketing difficult. And that is pretty self-explanatory why. It doesn't matter how much money you put behind something. If it's genuinely bad, nobody's going to want it. Nobody's going to want to buy it. A bad product is why a lot of clothing brand owners are held back wondering why they can only make $500 a month, why they can only make $1,000 a month. You must curate your feed and do market research to have something that always inspires you and always show you good clothing and what other brands are making. You won't always get it right or perfect. You just got to practice as much as you can. You really just got to study these products you're seeing on your feed. Why are they going viral? What type of materials are they using? What type of gimmicks are attracting people to buy these products? If designing isn't your thing, just hire a designer. And here is some screenshots of my feed on my clothing brand page. As you can see, like my entire feed besides this random Lil Tay right here, but besides her, my entire feed is literally clothing brand related. You can see new clothing, new stuff people are making, what things are trending right now, why people are buying what they're buying, even cool creatives people are doing for their clothing brand. You want to do stuff like this. You want to do this because you want to be constantly inspired. You don't want to fill your feed with garbage or brain rot if you want to pursue this clothing brand stuff because you always want to be looking at what people are buying, what creative things people are doing, so you can see if you can twist it and incorporate it in your own brand if you really want to. But that's just some examples of my feed, and you should probably get your feed like this too if you want to take this clothing brand stuff serious. Let's move on to good video ideas. Lots of clothing brand owners get stuck because they don't know what to make, or they get stuck in the loop of making the same thing over and over and over. And they keep wondering, why am I not blowing up? I've made the same video 30 days in a row. Why am I not blowing up? Well, that's because you need to understand video research is just as important as product research. You want to bookmark and save every viral clothing brand related video you see and really study and write down why these videos went viral. Why do you think these videos went viral? Was it the hook? Was it the backdrop? Was it the influencers in the video? Really write this stuff down because when you come back to it, you will notice a pattern. I promise you will notice a pattern. Now you want to figure out how to apply these similarities and trends to your own target audience and niche. And then all you want to do is literally just post 1 to 2 times a day literally any point during the day. Don't let anyone tell you, "Oh, you gotta post at 3:30, exactly at 3:30 with these hashtags, and you are going to blow up." No, it doesn't matter. Literally post for any time from 9 AM to, like, 9 o'clock. It's that simple. I promise you it's that simple. If it's a good video, it's gonna do good. Matter of fact, you can literally search up clothing brand on TikTok and find free inspiration from other clothing brands. So let me do that real quick. You can literally see right here. I searched up clothing brand on TikTok, and you can see free videos for you to take inspiration from. Just loads and loads and loads and loads of them. And you can even filter these by the amount of likes they have. So if you don't want to look at videos that have low amount of likes or have like a mid level of likes, you can literally just click the three dots. You can click filter. You can literally filter this by the relevance, how many likes it has, how long ago it was posted. Like, this is literally perfect. I would recommend you can literally just filter this by like count. And I recommend just doing it the past 3 months. Boom. You can see every viral video in the past 3 months on TikTok. Right at your fingertips. Right at your fingertips. Some of this content is not bad, like, some of this content is pretty good. So you could just sit here and do that and apply this marketing to your own clothing brand. Like, there's no reason why you can't get some decent video ideas, I promise you. Now let me show you a good example of good clothing brand content. This first video is actually from my own clothing brand, and I'm going to leave it muted because I wanna break down this video in its entirety later in this video. But you can see all the clips are short. I'm showing the product exactly how I want it to be shown. I'm showing the details. I'm getting close-up shots. I'm getting more detailed shots. I'm showing it on body. Like, this is everything a consumer would want to see when they're seeing a clothing brand video. And I also have a call to action at the end. But again, I'm going to be breaking down this more later in this video here in a second. But let me go ahead and show you this other piece of content. You can see right off the get-go, like, this is a hook. It draws the viewer in, like, what are these kids doing? And then this shows the nice product pictures on body, nice lifestyle shoots. Like, this is good content. Everything is well lit. It has a call to action. Like, this is good content. Now, let me show you some examples of bad clothing brand content that I don't mean to bash these brands. I low-key just took them randomly off my Explore page and my Reels feed. So if this is your brand, I'm sorry, but this is some examples of just bad content. Like, you can see the lighting is blurry. They have all this text on the screen, and they have this call to action. But like, this product is just kind of bad in general. Like, no one is gonna take action from this video. No one is gonna be commenting because of this video. This looks like a bot posted this video. I'm really not trying to be mean, but this is a perfect example of clothing brand content you do not want to be making at all. You don't want to be making content like this at all because it doesn't convert. No one is gonna look at this and be like, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna sign up on the wait list now because of this blurry video." No one is gonna do that. And I'm sorry to this brand. I kind of just cooked you, but it is what it is. I love you. Don't worry. Let me just give y'all another example of bad clothing brand content. This is another example of bad clothing brand content. This is actually not the worst video, but it could be a lot better. Product could be shown a lot better, and like the lighting, it's so shadowy that it's kind of hard to see the entire product. And a lot of these clips, they kind of overstay their welcome, to be honest. I think like this last clip right here, like this last clip is like 7 seconds long, it feels like. So you don't want to be having clips that just overstay their welcome. Overall, this is an example of like the lower end of making content for a clothing brand. You don't want to be making content like this where there's not much going on. Someone completely random who's seen this video probably would have scrolled by now, to be honest. But yeah, again, no hate to these clothing brands. I'm just using them as an example. And if they ever see this, they can use this as motivation to improve their content from what I've said. Now let's move on to good aesthetic and location because this is really important. Location of your content is super important. You need to establish a location or kind of a brand aesthetic location and stick with it. You need to find locations that align with your brand vision, target audience, and niche. A good example is a skater brand are typically shooting content in places the audience hangs out at or matches their aesthetic. So this would be skate parks, places with graffiti, cities, places where skaters be hanging out. And if you shoot content in a place that feels off from your brand aesthetic, it just repels people in the algorithm. A good example is like having a luxury brand and that's super luxury. All the items are priced top tier. Everything on the site looks super clean. And then when they go to your content, you're shooting content in a dark parking garage or like a dark alleyway. Like it doesn't line up. You want to make sure your locations align with your brand aesthetic. Another example I can provide is like maybe you have like a city industrial type of vibe to your brand. It wouldn't make sense to like go out and shoot a photo shoot for your brand in like a flower field, like a soft boy type of vibe. It just doesn't align with that city vibe, with that, grungy I don't know, grungy vibe that people in the city have. I personally shoot all of my content in a parking garage or dirty rundown locations because this matches my brand aesthetic. This might not match your brand aesthetic, but this matches my brand aesthetic. Lighting and color is extremely important. You want to get good lighting and you want to get colors that match your brand aesthetic. At least for my brand specifically, I use dark colors. I use dark colors like black, gray, neutral colors like dark brown, like that matches my brand aesthetic, especially the dirty rundown locations because it just matches. I've made my brand to fit that vibe and I've made sure all my locations, all my photo shoots match the vibe. So you can see some examples, you can see exactly why my photo shoot locations match my brand. You can see I have some concrete right here. I had this is like a parking garage right here, and it's just overall, you can just look at it and tell this matches the aesthetic of this brand. This matches perfectly. Like everything matches with this brand. I'm wearing all black. I'm wearing fur, and then behind me is just run down, dirty. Like you just know, you just know. You can just take one look at it and be like, I know exactly who this is targeting. Now, one thing you want to have in your clothing brand content is good pacing. You guys saw earlier how I was critiquing that video for not having good pacing. Well, this is where I talk about it. Usually, when it's time to sit down and actually edit your content, you need good pacing. The first 2 to 5 seconds of your video will decide if someone scrolls from your video. Every clip or segment of your video needs to serve its purpose and keep the viewer engaged. Your clips typically need to be synced with your music, and at minimum, it should fit the vibe or mood of the music. I see too many brands that have clips that overstay their welcome. You literally saw how I said in previously in the video how the clips were just dragging out for too long. Some of those clips in the video literally felt like they were like 6 or 7, 8 seconds long and they didn't need to be that long. So you don't want to have clips that overstay their welcome. Try to keep your clips or segments of your video under 5 seconds unless it is absolutely necessary for it to extend. I'm not saying you always have to have it under 5 seconds, but generally this is a good rule to follow if you're just doing like quick on body videos, quick on the floor videos. But if you have a video that you're just talking, kind of like what I'm doing right here, if you have a video that you're like talking or like discussing details of your product, discussing details of your brand, or like, kind of like the behind the scenes, obviously don't have like a 5 second clip of you talking and then another 5 second clip of you talking. It's just kind of weird if you're kind of doing that. But you get what I mean. If you have just simple videos, have your clips at like 5 seconds and be very selective of the audio you are choosing for your videos. It should be a reflection of your target audience. Most of the time, this really does matter. Use audio that your niche listens to. This is so, so, so important. Don't have like a flowery brand, maybe inspired by Tyler the Creator. And then in your videos, you're using like Opium, Ken Carson, Cardi songs. Like it doesn't align. You want to use audio that you like and that your target audience would like and actually listens to. You want to put yourself in the shoes of your target audience. This is the one thing that will make your marketing easier. Putting your shoes exactly into your target audience, into the exact persona you want buying from your brand. What type of music they listen to, what type of stuff do they buy, where do they hang out? Like this is all so important. So don't sleep on audio because algorithms are super smart these days. Now, let's actually sit down and break down the video I showed you earlier from my brand. These are the perfect baggy sweatpants. Boom. Within the first 3 to 4 seconds, I've already made a bold claim. These are the perfect baggy pair of sweatpants. So now the viewer is intrigued. How are these the perfect pair of baggy sweatpants? What makes these sweatpants so good? What makes these different? So now I've hooked them in literally within the first couple seconds, and now they have to continue watching to get the payoff. I added double deep front pockets. Boom. I immediately hit them with a detail point out. They have double deep front pockets. That is something a lot of other sweatpants don't have. Your regular pair of Nike sweatpants are not going to have this. So now the viewer is thinking, okay, that's something different. That's something I probably haven't seen before. And even if they have seen it, it's not something they see often. It's because I know you be carrying your wallet, AirPods. And just immediately right there, you probably didn't even notice it, but I showed two other colorways of the sweatpants. I showed a gray colorway and I showed a pink colorway without directly even saying anything. So now we have three colorways that the viewer is probably potentially interested in: black, gray, and pink. And I also validated a hurting point of the viewer. I said they probably carry a lot of stuff, so that's why these pockets are useful. Snacks, etc. There is also a belt loop, so you will never lose your keys. Boom, that is another detail point out. I mentioned a belt loop on the waistband of these pants, and that is something a viewer would want to see. Maybe this viewer doesn't like losing their keys. They like knowing exactly where their keys are at. So let's continue watching. Full back pockets. Boom, another detail point out again, double back pockets. So this viewer is getting a bunch of details, a bunch of things that make the sweatpants different. What makes these the perfect baggy sweatpants. Wide leg opening that will sit over your shoes perfectly. And again, baggy sweatpants, they sit over your shoes beautifully. That's what the viewer wants. They want a pair of baggy sweatpants. So I'm giving them, a look at these baggy sweatpants. And a double waist for a secure, comfortable fit. Boom, again, another detail point out, double waist for a secure, comfortable fit. Now take a look at this camera work I'm about to put right here. Finally, they're 100% French terry cotton sitting at 400 GSM. And as you can see, the camera work is really nice. I'm zooming in, I'm panning it as I'm talking with the viewer. And I'm also mentioning a bunch of details. I'm mentioning the material, the fit, everything. I'm also gonna mention when it drops, the day it drops, the time it drops, and where it's gonna drop. They're also slightly vintage washed. All 3 colorways will be dropping February 21st at 4 p.m. East, only on Amaurosis. As you can see right there, they're going to drop when? February 21st at 4 p.m. East, only on Amaurosis. And I put only on Amaurosis there because people love stealing my videos. So that is a subtle watermark of where these people can find these sweatpants without falling for a scam site. Hope to see you there. And hope to see you there. That's a call to action. I hope this viewer is going to sign up for my SMS list. I hope this viewer is going to follow me, whatever, so they are reminded that these sweatpants are going to drop. And as you can see in the description, these are the perfect baggy sweatpants. I intentionally put these are the perfect baggy sweatpants, emphasis on baggy because that is good SEO, search engine optimization. So it's going to show this video to people who most likely like baggy sweatpants. And again, I have it right here. When these are dropping, 2/21 at 4 p.m. East. And I also have the price. So I don't have a bunch of questions of, how much do these cost? Where are these dropping? Everything's in the description along with related hashtags. So again, everything about this video is so intentional. Everything is so intentional. You might not think it's intentional, but I promise you, I think when I make videos like this, I think about everything that the viewer could be thinking when watching this video. And that's why this video did so good. It has 18,000 likes. And I think it has like 500K views, which is crazy. So again, be very intentional with your marketing and you can get so good at this. Now, another part of marketing your clothing brand is your description and tags. I would recommend using 3 to 5 tags that are related to your target audience and niche. You don't really need to use more than that, to be honest. Don't stress over tags. I promise you, they don't matter that much. The actual video itself will do most of the heavy lifting, but the tags help categorize the video of where it needs to go. So I would recommend optimizing your videos and descriptions for SEO and to funnel people into your SMS list. So instead of maybe saying, oh, this hoodie is out now, maybe you should say this baggy heavyweight hoodie. So now the video is like getting categorized and knows exactly who to target. And your descriptions have a date of when you're going to drop and have a call to action to join your SMS list. This is pretty straightforward. A lot of brands do this. You don't need to do this every single video, but it does help that if you're telling people to join your SMS list, you're telling people, what you're dropping when you're dropping. So yeah, I would highly recommend doing this. So the next thing is paid marketing. This is probably the most important part of marketing your clothing brand and scaling your clothing brand to high figures. Now, I broke it down into 3 channels. You have your SMS marketing, you have your email marketing, and you have your paid ads. Paid ad marketing is probably the most important part of scaling your brand. Without paid ads, getting to high numbers in sales is really, really, really more time consuming, to be honest. If you try to get to high figures organically, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible at all to scale to 6 figures, 7 figures organically, but it will take significantly more time and effort. SMS and email marketing are 100% essentials to growing your clothing brand even past like $10,000 a month. I would say even $5,000 a month. Like these 2 things are really, really, really important. So if you don't have paid ads, these 2 things are 100% non-negotiable. You need these 2 things. So let's just get started with SMS marketing. SMS marketing is probably the best form of marketing when it comes to devices, in my opinion. SMS marketing is better than email marketing. The conversion rate difference is insane. Nobody really checks their email. I mean, people check their email, but like not as much as literally sending them a text message directly to their phone. SMS collection and automation flows is 100% a must-have. It's more expensive than email marketing, but it's obviously, worth it. I use SMS Bump, not sponsored. I love SMS Bump. It's gotten my clothing brand right, and you should use SMS Bump. You can also use Postscripts. I know a lot of people use Postscripts. So SMS Bump, Postscripts, OmniSend. I don't care what you use. You just need to have it set up properly. Blasting your SMS list every time you drop. This is kind of self-explanatory. You need to let everybody that signed up for your VIP or waitlist or whatever, you need to let them all know that you dropped and all the stuff you have is available right now to cop. SMS and email can get complicated because you can start segmenting and you can start like dividing people by, people who've purchased, people who have abandoned carts, people who haven't made their mind up. Like you can really start getting in there and like, marketing to specific people, to be honest. And these are some of my numbers with my SMS drop. You can see I had a 20% click through rate, 5K revenue from this SMS blast. And this one I had 3.4K. These are some of my numbers from my SMS flows. Flows are so important because they automate everything on the back end for your clothing brand. So this will automatically send a text message to people who don't buy, who abandon their cart, abandon checkout, go on the site but don't really add anything to cart, like all that stuff that you don't want to do manually. Flows do it really nicely. As you can see, I've gained some revenue from some of my SMS flows right here. 1K, 1.2K, 3.1K, 14K. Like you don't want to be leaving this money on the table. I promise you, you don't want to be leaving this money on the table. I said this in my last video, but your goal is to funnel as many people as possible to like a logged website or at least like a pop-up that tells people to join your SMS list and to join through SMS or email. So this is super important. You want to make sure you're getting people to sign up for this email and SMS list right here. Really, really important. Now let's move on to email marketing. This is not as essential as SMS marketing, but again, this is a non-negotiable 100% must have. It's cheaper than SMS marketing for obvious reasons that people don't check their email as much as their phone. But with this, you can reach people outside of your country. A lot of SMS apps, they don't really allow you to reach people in different countries due to different laws, different regulations. And I think it's honestly more expensive to reach people in other countries. I need to double check that. Overall, it's just harder to reach people outside of your country through phone than it is with email. So that's why email has that advantage of you can just send them an email if they abandon their cart. But I recommend you use the same automatic flows for email as you do SMS. So if they abandon their checkout, they abandon their cart, they go on your website, send them an email. I think Shopify does this automatically, but I use Klaviyo, not sponsored again. I use that for all my emails on my clothing brand stuff. So again, make sure you have your automatic flows. This is super important, and you want to make sure you are doing that for sure. And here's some of my numbers from my automations. Don't count these campaigns because these are kind of just pre-order update campaigns that I send out to my pre-orders who are waiting for their order. This is an actual email blast right here. $2,000 just from that email blast, and some more revenue from my automatic flows. So again, I know my email is not making me as much money, and I could probably improve my email marketing. But again, it's a must-have. It is 100% non-negotiable to have email and SMS marketing. It is super important. Now let's move on to paid ads. Paid ads is the most important thing you will do to scale to 100K for your clothing brand. Good content is essential for paid ads. You cannot put money behind garbage content and expect it to perform. You need to master making good content. You need to master organic content before you consider ads. I mainly use meta ads, like I said in my last video. I recommend clothing brand owners start with meta ads, and you can start with a small amount of money. You can maintain a 2 to 3 ROAS, and much like organic content, you need to test a lot and have an actual good ad strategy. Running ads for clothing brands is a bit different than other e-com niches because the clothing brand space is kind of has a different vibe. It has different angles to play. Like it has a whole culture behind it. Like running ads for clothing brands is not this it's not the same as running ads for like a drop shipping store. It's not the same as running ads for like, I don't know, like a TikTok shop or beauty products. It's just not the same. So you need to understand that the clothing brand space has like different angles to play and all that. So paid ads, super, super duper important, really, really important. And here's some of my results I've gotten for some of my clients. So as you can see with paid ads, I turned $13,000 into $52,000. I turned $771 into 8.6K. I'm getting like 11x ROI, which is return on ad spend. That's how much I'm getting back, 11x. That is a crazy, crazy, crazy number. And here's another one, $931 into 4.5K. So these are just some of the numbers I'm getting my clients. You can actually apply down below if you want me to run ads for your clothing brand, or you can just join the Discord if you need some more help with all that. So paid ads, really, 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 really important. Make sure to get on top of that. Now, influencer marketing. I personally don't use influencer marketing, but this is really relevant, and I thought it would be really important to mention in this video anyways, even if I don't personally do it. Think of it as sort of a honorable mention of this video. I work with multiple clothing brands that use influencer marketing. They are very good for establishing social proof and growing your clothing brand. Their content is also very good to use for ads. Influencer content typically will outperform literally any regular video you have on your page. So really consider using an influencer. You can DM hundreds of micro influencers and see if they will post in exchange for your piece. I don't recommend DMing huge influencers because one, they will charge you a crazy amount of money. Two, they'll probably ignore you. And three, a lot of the times they're just too famous. They'll ego you. Like that's just the way it is. They're too famous for your brand, especially if your brand has like under 10K followers. They're not gonna respond. I would really highly recommend to use micro influencers that are in your niche, and that would they would literally just post your content in exchange for your piece. It's super easy. If they're trying to charge you money, I would consider it for the most part when you're starting out. Try to work with influencers that won't charge you money and that would just take the piece and post like a get ready with me or post any type of content. Now, when it comes to actually getting these micro influencers, you're gonna have to DM hundreds of them. You're gonna have to understand this is simply a numbers game. You're gonna get ignored. You're gonna get scammed. But it's just it is what it is. Try to ask other clothing brand owners, other influencers they've worked with to weed out the scammers. Now, when it comes to actually making content with the influencer, just ask them to make content that is similar to their past work. Don't try to mold them or shape them into making a video that just doesn't fit them. If you see a video where they did a get ready with me, just be like, yo, I really like this get ready with me you did. Can you please make the same type of video with my piece? And 9 times out of 10, the influencer will be like, yeah, bro, I've made tons of these videos before. I've had success. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they'll make your video exactly how they've made it before, and it will do good. I promise you. Don't try to micromanage or mold these influencers. Just let them do what they do best. Just let them put that stuff on and make your content. I promise you. All you got to do is tell them the idea, and from there, just let them handle it. Now, good marketing is only as good as your consistency. You need to find a consistent content schedule for your clothing brand and get videos cranked out. You need to gather ideas so you can consistently post, and you need to try to work ahead whenever possible. If you need to take a day off, you'll have stuff and content ready to post, so you're not scrambling every single day trying to make that one video, that one piece of content that you need to post daily. And I would also recommend that you research consistently. The more you research and improve off your research, the higher you can take your brand, and try to take steps to improve your marketing as much as possible. It won't be easy at the start, but as you gain knowledge and experience, kind of like I have, you kind of just know what to do. You just kind of know, like, okay, if I make this video like this has the highest chance of going viral. If I do this video has the highest chance of going viral. Like, you kind of get that knowledge built in your brain of exactly what you need to do to get your clothing brand where you want it to be. But anyways, thank you guys. If you learned something from this video, consider subscribing. Join the Discord down below. We're almost at 1,000 people in the Discord. There's plenty of free advice and other six-figure brand owners you can connect with and learn from. And if you want me to run your brand's marketing or paid ads, kind of like I showed you earlier, of me making these clients tens and thousands of dollars, you can apply down below with your brand's information, and I will get back to you if I think it's a good fit. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. If you guys have more things you want me to discuss on this channel, make sure to comment it down below and leave a comment of what you think of this video if this helped you. But yeah, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace.